Now, let's move to long division method. The symbol or sign for long division is this. In long division, the dividend, the divisor, and the quotient are arranged in these positions. Dividend to your right, with divisor to your left, and quotient on top. In long division, we will be making use of the following operations or symbols. 1. Division. 2. Multiplication. 3. Subtraction. Let's see how these operations are used in long division. Our first example is 36 divided by 2. First, we have to set up our numbers like this. 36 and 2. 36 is our dividend. 2 is our divisor. There is no value for our quotient. Our task is to look for the value of our quotient. So, let's begin. Solution. First, we have our numbers set up like this. Next, we move on to step 1. In step 1, we will use the divisor to divide the first digit of the dividend. The first digit of the dividend is 3. How many times will 2 go into 3? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. Now, let's divide. 1, 2. Place a demarcation. 1 is not up to 2. So, we say 2 go into 3 just once. We go above the first digit of the dividend and write down 1. Next, we move on to step 2. In step 2, we use the result from the first dividend digit to multiply our divisor. We say 1 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Now, we write the result of our multiplication below the first digit of dividend, like this. Step 3. We rule an horizontal line to create space for our next operation. Then we subtract the result of step 2 from our first digit of the dividend, which is 3. So we say 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. We write our result below the horizontal line, like this. Step 4. We move the second digit of the dividend below the horizontal line. In this case, we will move 6 below the horizontal line. We now have a new figure to work with, and that is 16. We move on to step 5. In step 5, the divisor 2 goes into 16. 16 is our bottom number. So how many times will 2 go into 16? Let's count. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now, let's divide by 2. 1, 2. Demarcate. 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 We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We say 2 into 16 is 8. We move to the second digit of the dividend and write down 8. We move to step 6. Step 6 says 8 times 2. What is 8 times 2? 8 times 2 is 16. We go to the bottom and write down 16 like this. After which we rule an horizontal line to create space for our next operation. We move to step 7. In step 7, we subtract 16 from 16. Now, 6 minus 6 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. 16 minus 16 is equal to 0. We are done with our division because there is no more digit to move down from the dividend. Our quotient is 18, the number at the top. 36 divided by 2 gives us 18. Now that we are familiar with the steps, it is time to move on to our next example. Example 2, 65 divided by 3. First, we set up our numbers like this. Secondly, we divide the first digit of our dividend, which is 6, by our divisor 3. 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. We go on top of our first digit of our dividend and write down 2. Next we say 2 times our divisor 3. 2 times 3 is equal to 6. We go below the first digit of our dividend and write down 6. Now we say 6 minus 6. When we take 6 away from 6, we have 0. We go under the horizontal line and write down 0. Next, we bring down the second digit of our dividend, which is 5. Now, we have our new number. This is the number we are going to work on. So we say 5 divided by 3. 3 is our divisor. So 5 divided by 3 is what? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many times will 3 go into 5? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 3 goes into 5 once. So we go up right above our second digit of the dividend and write down 1. Next, we say 1 times our divisor, 3. 1 times 3 is equal to 3. We go down below our second digit of the dividend and write down 3. Next, we subtract 5 minus 3. When we take 3 from 5, we have 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. We are done with our division. Since there is no more digit to move down from the dividend, it means we are through with our division. So, what do we do next? We still have 02 left. This means we have a remainder. So we go up and say R2. Therefore, our quotient is 21 remainder 2. 65 divided by 3 gives us 21 remainder 2. Now, let's solve 401 divided by 20. Please follow closely as we solve for the answer to this question. First, we need to arrange or set up our numbers like this. Next, we divide the first digit of our dividend. In this case, we divide 4 by 20. 4 divided by 20 isn't possible. So, we say 4 divided by 20 is equal to 0. We go on top of the quotient space above the first digit of our dividend and write down 0. Next, we multiply 0, which is our result, by our divisor 20. 0 times 20 is equal to 0. We go beneath our first digit of our dividend and write down 0. Then we place our minus sign and draw an horizontal line for the next operation. 4 minus 0 is equal to 4. We go under our horizontal line and write down 4. Next, we bring down our second digit number of our dividend. In this case, we bring down 0. We have 40. We are now going to work with 40. 40 is our new number. We are going to repeat what we did to our first digit of our dividend. So we say 40 divided by 20. 40 divided by 20 gives us 2. We go on top of our quotient space above the second digit of our dividend and write down 2. Next, we say 2 multiply by our divisor, 20. So we say 2 times 20. 2 times 20 gives us 40. We then we write down 40 and then draw an horizontal line. Now we place our minus sign and subtract. 40 minus 40 is 0. 0 minus 0 gives us 0. 4 minus 4 gives us 0. Next, we bring down our third digit number. In this case, we bring down 1. So, we write 1 right below the horizontal line. Next, we say 1 divided by 20. 20 people can't divide one thing. So, we say 1 divided by 20 is 0. We write down 0. We go on top of our third digit number of our dividend and write down 0. Next, we say 0 times 20. 20 is our divisor. 0 times 20 is 0. We go to the bottom of the third digit of our dividend and write down 0. Then we draw an horizontal line. And place our minus sign. Then we subtract. We say 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0 is equal to 1. We can place a 0 here, like this, and a 0 here, like this. Zero minus 0 gives us 0. 0 minus 0 gives us 0. We are through with our division. There is no more dividend to bring down. However, we have 1 as our remainder. So we go on top and write arrow 1. 401 divided by 20 gives us a quotient or a result of 20 remainder 1. Let's now take another example. 400 divided by 20. Although this question look much more like our last example, it is necessary to solve this so as to avoid confusion. So first in line, we need to set up our numbers. So we set up our numbers like this. Next, we divide our first dividend by our divisor 20. Our first dividend is 4. So we say 4 divided by 20. 4 divided by 20 is 0. We go to our quotient space above the first digit of our dividend and write down 0. Next, we multiply the 0 we just wrote down by 20. So we say 0 times 20. 0 times 20 gives us 0. We go under our first digit of our dividend, which is 4, and write down 0. Next, we place our minus sign right here and draw an horizontal line across. Then we subtract. We say 4 minus 0. 4 minus 0 is equal to 4. We write down 4 right here and we bring down 0. We now have a new number to work with. Our new number is 40. So we say 40 divided by 20. 40 divided by 20 is equal to 2. We go over the second number of our dividend, which is 0, and write down 2. Next, we multiply the 2 we just wrote down by 20. 2 times 20 is equal to 40. We write down 40. Next, we place our minus sign right here and draw an horizontal line across. It is time to subtract. 40 minus 40 is equal to 0. Now, here is where we need to be careful. Some people tend to think that we are through with our division because of the zeros at this point. But that is not true. We haven't used the last digit of our dividend. Remember, when we divided 401 by 20, we brought down 1 as our last dividend and then divide it by our divisor 20. Now we will do the same with our last digit here, which is 0. We will bring down 0. So we say 0, which is our new number, divided by 20. 0 divided by 20 is 0. We go over the third number of our dividend, which is 0, and write down 0. Next, we say 0 times 20. 0 times 20 is 0. We go down and write down 0. We can as well fill those blank spaces with zeros like this. Then we place our minus sign right here and draw an horizontal line across. It is time to subtract. So we say 0 minus 0 gives us 0. 0 minus 0 gives us 0. 0 minus 0 gives us 0. So 0 minus 0 gives us 0. We are through with our division because we don't have any more dividend to bring down. So 400 divided by 20 is equal to 20.